Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. We move into day 2 over in Queens and in Germany. We're going to touch on each and every one of these matches today. As always, we'll see if there's anything like as we go. Be sure to get your predictions in the comments. If there's anything I'm going for personally, that will also be in that pinned comments. Be sure you're going to check that out. Before we get started, like the video, get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're not already. I'd appreciate that. And first things first, you let me know, how did we get on with day 1? Did we win? Did we lose? Did we go close? I'll go first. I had Holgerun, I had Jacob Fernley, I also had Big Foe. Bit of a shame, very disappointed in Big Foe. I'm not going to cry about it. It's day 1 after all. There's plenty of tennis to be played. But yeah, get yourself involved, share with the group, don't be shy. And now that's out the way, we'll waste no more time with these. First off, over in Germany for us today, we've got Jesper de Jong and Thomas Machac. Look, same as yesterday, just going to spend a minute or two on each of these. We've got quite a few to go through. It is still the first round. I imagine there'll be 1 or 2 again today who probably don't deserve to be here, but we'll see what happens. But Jesper de Jong and Thomas Machac, these have played each other 3 times before, each and every one of them going the way of Thomas Machac quite convincingly too, everyone being on the hard court. These haven't seen each other since 2022. What you want me to say about this? I don't think you're wrong to assume that Thomas Machac probably should be getting this one done, providing he's fit. He has had to pull out of the last 2 matches. He's currently on a 3-game losing streak. Not only that, you're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses in his last 6 games. Alex de Minaur, Jacob Fernley, he beat Lehecka, got beat by Tommy Paul, Cam Norrie, and then Quinton Hallis, both of them last 2. He had to pull out of. He should beat Jesper de Jong. Providing he's fit, he will most definitely beat Jesper de Jong. Now I've got Thomas Machac here around 1.4, 1.5. That's a lot more than what I expected. It really is. Maybe that's got something to do with the fact that he hasn't been able to finish the games the past 2. I don't want to just say, I know we like to say he's the king of the walkover. It wouldn't be very safe to assume that it's a free hit. If things don't start going his way, he'll probably pull out of this one too. You can't approach it like that, although that does seem to be the case. He's always good for a set. Odds would probably be shit for that. I think he should be winning. I do know Jesper de Jong possesses a bit of a tricky game. You know, he can pose a little bit of trouble to you, but ultimately I think Thomas Machac should be more than too solid in that one. And then we will move on to Andrei Rublev, Sebastian Ofner. Good old Rublev. What am I to do with this guy? Same stands for this. I'm seeing Andrei Rublev around 1.5. And I'm just going to say the same thing that I say for every single Rublev match. If the Rublev I know turns up, then he wins this game. Simple as that. He is more, and I repeat, more than experienced to get past Sebastian Ofner in this spot. I think Rublev looked decent both times. Last time out, he got to the final over in Hamburg, got to the round of 16 over in the French Open until he ran into Jannik Sinner. Fairly decent. He's been in decent enough form. I'll give him that. But so is Sebastian Ofner. He was decent over in Geneva, getting to the semis before he ran into Humbert. 1-1 in the French Open, and then he's come through qualifying without dropping a set. Looks fairly decent once again. Now, you don't need me to tell you, I would love to take Andrei Rublev in this one today, but unfortunately, I don't know if I can trust him or not. First game on the grass for both of them. Not for both of them, sorry, for Andrei Rublev. Sebastian Ofner's already got 1-2 under his belt. Tricky. Dicey. What are we to do with this? It's got to be Rublev. I don't know whether I'd be picking him or not. 1.5. It's jumping out to me. It's very tempting, but maybe it's a trap. I'm not too sure. You let me know what you think on that, but it would be Rublev for me. We've got Pedro Martinez and Thomas Etcheverry. A pass. Pass on this one. We've got two clay beasts going at it on the grass. Both on a 3-game losing streak. I think we've probably seen more from Etcheverry. Pretty much just over in Hamburg. I was going to say as of late, but it has literally just been that one tournament. Neither one of these is set to the light this year. 14 and 19 for the Argentinian. 11 and 18 for the Spaniard. Pay your money, you take your choice. I think it's probably a little bit more suited to Etcheverry. I wouldn't be picking him. And I certainly wouldn't be leaning on him with much conviction either. It's probably an overspot. Neither one of these fancy themselves on the grass. Would I be surprised if both of them just turn up and try and dog it out? Absolutely not. We'll see what happens anyway. But we'll waste no more time on that one. That really is. I think it's anyone's a bit more of a coin flip. I don't really think Etcheverry should be a massive favourite in that. We know Pedro Martinez can spring an upset or two on the day. So moving on up, we've got João Fonseca, Flavio Cobolli. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be, folks? Look, first things first, I'm interested to see how João Fonseca's going to act on the clay. How is he going to get on? I haven't seen much. 2 and 4 last year, and that is all we've seen from him. And fairly poor as well. It was fairly poor. He beat Edmund Demiajima, and that was it. Got beat by Brandon Nakashima, Billy Harris, James Duckworth, and then Maurice Kanyas in qualifying for Wimbledon. That's not very Fonseca-like, is it? Don't be wrong, this kid has come on leaps and bounds since this time last season. Maybe grass just isn't going to be his strong suit. We know how good he is on the clay. We know how good he is on the hard court. Pretty much same goes for his opponent, Flavio Cobolli. We know he prefers the clay too. He was shit on the hard court to start the season off. He was much better last year and the year before. My point being, neither one have ever done much on the clay. We haven't really seen much out of them. Flavio Cobolli for a set. Anyone? I don't know, man. I just think he's been in better form lately. It's a fact. Won 8 of his last 10. João Fonseca 5 and 10. 5 of his last, 5 wins, 5 losses. Some of the losses, I'll just reel them off now. Alex de Minaur, Tommy Paul, Jesper de Jong, Fabian Madison, Jack Draper. Some alright ones, couple snide ones. It is what it is. If you look at the wins, Lena Tien, Ugo Humbert, Elmo Moller, Hubert Perricard, Pierre Hughes Herbert. And it was a very, very close game against Pierre Hughes as well. Now we transition over to the grass. How do we react to it? Flavio Cobolli's got 2 titles. 2 titles this year, both of them being on the clay. Last time out, we seen him over in Hamburg. We've just mentioned that. Taking out Rublev in the final, looked very, very good. Fairly decent in the French Open too, until he bumped into Zverev. I think Flavio Cobolli might do him, Is that just me? Is that not wise to say when João Fonseca's playing? I don't know. I don't know what you do with this kid. I just don't fancy taking him today. Although at 1.5, that's probably the price, right? I don't know. I just don't know. I do not know. I've seen none of these matches. I can't remember ever watching any of those matches last season. Very small, not much more of a sample size to go off with Flavio Cobolli. Probably just going to have to go off form. I think Flavio Cobolli surprised me a lot more this season than what João Fonseca has. And he surprised me a lot more lately too. He really has. Didn't think he was going to win that final over in Hamburg. I really didn't. I just don't know. This really is a rough one. Either one for a set, I couldn't talk it off. If you want to take Fonseca, anyone taking Fonseca today? I imagine everyone is, like they usually do. I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't know why. I just got a weird feeling about this one. Wouldn't be surprised to see Flavio Cobolli pull this one up. He has been in better shape. He's been in slightly better. Well, he has been in better form, or he was in better form. maybe all that will change come today, but it shall remain to be seen. And then next up we've got Ugo Humbert and El Shapo. You know, that loss to Gabe Diallo the other day, in hindsight, doesn't seem too bad anymore for Ugo Humbert, does it? But Denis Shapovalov, man, oh my god, that loss to Rinderknech. It's a shame, innit? It's a damn shame, man. He looked really decent the start of the season. I thought he did anyway. 7-6 on the hardcore, 5-0 indoors. He was fantastic, got himself that title. As soon as we've come onto the clay, I wanted him to keep it up. I was very hopeful. I thought he could keep it up. He clearly couldn't keep it up. He's been really, really bad ever since we came off of the hard court. 2-5 on the clay. It's not great. It's not great. We're no longer on the clay. Admittedly, we are on the grass. How's he going to get on? How is he going to get on? These have played each other 5 times before. El Shapo taking 3 of the meetings on the clay, and Ugo Humbert winning both meetings on the hard court. Never played each other in 2 years. Humbert got it done last time over at Indian Wells. Now, I like both of these. I've probably been a bit of a fan of Ugo Humbert a little bit longer than El Shapo. I will admit that. Who do I want to win? I'm not too sure. I'd like either one of these two, and I feel like El Shapo could probably do with the win a little bit more. You know, just touching back on the head-to-head, really, you know, if you look at that, all the wins coming on the clay, all on the hard court, that would probably suggest these quicker conditions probably suit Ugo Humbert. Is it just going to be a case of he just needs to attack that one-hander? That does seem to be the case more often than not with those that possess one. I don't know, both lefties, aren't they? Both lefties. We'll see how it goes, see how they get on with each other. Ugo Humbert, 1.6 to 1.7. Oh, if you can get 1.7 for Ugo Humbert, I'd take him. Simple as that, I'd take him, even just for a set. El Shapo's been well off the boil. Well off the boil. Especially after what we've seen last time out in Stuttgart. Can you trust that? Can you trust that? I'm not too sure, man. I mean, when El Shapo be playing, them errors be spraying, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just don't think I can trust him. I don't. Ugo Humbert, I mean, like I said, the loss to Diallo at the time, I know a couple of people were a bit butthurt about it, but it didn't look that bad now, does it? After he just went up and wrapped the titles, so I would like to think Ugo Humbert can just edge this one out. He probably shouldn't need to edge this one out against this version of El Shapo, you know, this guy. I don't know what's going on. Whether it was just clay, whether it's just bad form, whether it's a bit of a dip, who knows? But it ain't looking good for El Shapo, and I certainly won't be taking him today. I'd be looking at Ugo Humbert to get that one done, yes sir. And then we've got Francisco Cerundolo and Alex Michelsen. This is tough, man. This is too tough to call. We've got loads of great games today, by the way. They make for some very tough predictions. I'll give you that. I don't know how this opened up. I'm pretty sure I seen this split down the middle, and then depending where you look, you've got Cerundolo as a slight favourite, Michelsen slight favourite. It's probably going more towards the side of Alex Michelsen now. They've never played each other before. It'd probably make it a little bit easier if they had. Got Cerundolo on a 2-game losing streak. Haven't seen him since his first round exit at the French Open. That's right. Gabe Diallo beat him straight sets, and then Lehecka pulled off the upset before that over in Hamburg. 6 of his last 10, all coming on the clay. You know, it's what I expect. I expect that from Cerundolo. 0-3 last year on the grass, 6-2 the year before. Alex Michelsen, most definitely more suited to the surface, as we have discussed. 7-6 last year, 8-4 the year before. I was going to say look fairly decent against Mpethsi, but how much you can take from that, I'm not too sure. You know, that's entirely up to you. And then coming up against Justin Engel, man, he was a mad favourite in that. He was a colossal favourite against Justin Engel, and he just couldn't get that done. 6-4, 6-4. He didn't really offer much after he'd lost his serve. Now, I don't want to take anything away from the young lad. I did say, didn't I, Justin Engel's a lot better than maybe I'd have noticed at first, but even still, probably shouldn't have lost that one. Well, it is what it is. I don't know. He is the 35 in the world, as Monfils said. You thought I was gonna turn up and beat Alex Michelsen, who's 35 in the world. I'm like, well, Big Foe's 30 in the world, and you'd have smacked the shit out of him today. So I don't know. It's a tough one. I'd love to take Alex Michelsen. It could be a trap. It could be, with the odds being so good. Maybe just take him for a set if you're doing a little parlay. I don't know how Cerundolo is going to come out on the grass, but I will say this: if he's improved on the grass, even just a little bit, if he's made just a little bit of an improvement, just like he's done on his all-round game this season, especially on the hard court, I wouldn't mind taking Cerundolo for a set either. I just feel like if it comes down to who's got it on the day, who's gonna hold their own, who's got the minerals for it, I just see a few more errors and a few more fuck ups from Cerundolo. They creep in more often than not with that guy, so I probably would lean with the American in that one. And then we've got 3 more over in Germany, and then heading on over to Queens. So we've got Felix Auger Aliassime and Laszlo Djere. I'll be going with Felix on this one. I would. I seen enough last time out in Stuttgart. I think he looked good. He played good against Fritz. Just very, very fine margins that decided that one, which we said would. Felix and Djere have played each other twice before, both on the clay. Laszlo Djere won both of them, but that was back in 2019, the pair of them. And I think you don't need me to tell you that quite a lot has changed since then. Look, Felix on the grass, it's completely different. Felix on the grass, completely different. So is Laszlo Djere on the grass. He has come through qualifying in straight sets. He looked a lot better than what he did last time out in Den Bosch. I mean, he got past Basilashvili 7-5, 6-3, and then Jesper de Jong 6-4, and then bailed him in the second. I think he's got his work cut out for him with Felix. He should be good to go. We only played 3 games last week. Better on the grass, man. I can just see him, providing he can stand behind his serve. If he can put that serve in, I feel like he'll just blast Laszlo Djere off this court. I really do. Felix could be on for a nice little run. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go on a nice, deep little run this time out over in Germany, but we'll see how he gets on. 1.35 to 1.4. Sweet as a nut. Now, I do know Felix is a little bit inconsistent. He can screw you every now and then. But any objections to that, other than the price? I think it's an ideal parlay piece, I really do. He should be getting this one done. He should. He should be too much for Laszlo Djere on the day. But you let me know. I'm asking you, you tell me, yeah. And then you've got Jannik Sinner and Yannick Hanfmann. What are the odds of this? Yannick squared. Gotta be Jannik Sinner, hasn't it? Do I waste anyone's time on this? Probably not, right? Head-to-head's 2-0 to Jannik Sinner. Wimbledon last year, US Open the year before that. I don't think it matters. Oh, would you look at that? Jannik Sinner's back to being 1.01. I thought this was all a bad dream. I thought this was all a dream, and this didn't actually happen a few weeks ago, but it did. Him and Alcaraz were the exact same. It's probably going to be the same for the majority of this week too as well. It's the way it goes. Jannik Sinner 1.02. Take him however you like, minus the points and straight sets. Fucking minus the 11.5. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he serves up a double bagel against Yannick Hanfmann. The levels, the difference in levels and the difference in quality is that vast. 1.01. I mean, come on. Picks itself. You're not going to be betting on that, surely. I've still got Jannik Sinner on it outright anyway, so I'll just sit on that. It'll make it a little bit more exciting for me anyway. And then wrapping this shit up, over in Germany, we've got Sonego and Struff. Oh, I want to take Struff. I'd love to take Struff. I'd love Struff to win. But the fact is, I just can't trust him yet. He looked decent against Matteo Arnaldi, and he didn't stand a chance against Jiri Lehecka. Was the Arnaldi match just a bit of a flash in the pan? A little bit inspired first game on the grass over in Stuttgart, potentially. Now, he always does play good on the grass, I know that, especially in Germany. Sonego's beat him twice before. Oh no, sorry, he's beat him once before, and that was on the grass in Stuttgart 3 years ago. 2 tiebreakers is what it took, and then Struff getting the most recent one done 2 years ago in Madrid on the clay. First round over in Germany. I wouldn't really go against Struff usually, but he's been bang out of form. But a bit of a saving grace for the German in this one. So is Sonego, man. So he's been fucking crap as well. 2 of his last 10. 2 wins, 8 losses in your last 10. Same goes for Struff, even though one of them was a retirement. Sonego's beaten Avone in Miami. That's going back to March. And then Kekmanovic in Madrid. Apart from that, he's been beat by David Goffin, Taylor Fritz, Capriva, Martinez, The Demon, Borachaga, Ben Shelton, and Quinton Hallis most recently. I don't know. Even though both of the form is exactly the same here, both are well off the boil, I do have to say Sonego's probably just a little bit more solid on the day. I couldn't pick either one. Both of them are in really, both of them are in the mud to say the least, and now they're pitted against each other. One of them has to win. There can only be one. It truly is the Highlander moment here. I figured while Sonego was just in equally as bad form as Struff, maybe just lean with the German. With him being at home, providing he can serve well, he can just destroy anyone on that serve alone. And Sonego is no excuse. Simple as that. 1.75, it's not a bad price. But I would approach it with a little bit of caution. It could be an over. Maybe look at the total games played. I'm not too sure. Like I said, I'd like to lean with Struff on that. Do I have a go? I'd be very tempted to. I think I'd just prefer to watch that one and see who comes out victorious in the end. But I think that'll do us for Germany. Nice. 20 odd minutes. That'll do. So I'm not going to waste too much time on these. It is still the first round, innit? This shouldn't take much time either. We've got some decent favourites over in London today. So first off, we've got Mpethsi Perricard. Mpethsi Perricard, Alexander Vukic sent fucking shivers down my spine just saying that. And he's 1.5 once again. And once again, I find myself in a position where I'm saying, you know what? I think Mpethsi Perricard should win this. I think he possesses just a little bit more on the day than his opponent. That's exactly what I thought against Zizou Bergs, and I don't know. He was battling with himself. He was playing himself and Zizou Bergs in that match. It was just tough to watch. One of them games where you know it's going to go either way, and the longer and longer it gets dragged out, you're like, goes into the third set, it goes really deep in the third set, it enters God's hands, and this guy just can't do it. This guy just couldn't do it against Zizou Bergs, and you know what, in hindsight, maybe it's not that bad, because Zizou Bergs looked fucking solid all week. Maybe he just looked a little bit patchy in those opening matches. 2-game losing streak for Perricard. Not too bad. I mean, 6 of his last 10. That's not too bad. It's better than Vukic, currently on 4 of his last 10. He is on a 2-game winning streak, having to come through qualifying for Queens. He beat Cerundolo, Cerundolo, and Adam Walton, both in straight sets. Fairly decent. Both Australian. We've got 2 Aussies going at it over in England on the grass. I don't know, man. Tough. Very tough one to call. I'm not going to be taking Vukic. I'm not. He's most definitely there for the taking this season. But with that being said, you are out of your mind if you think I'm taking Mpethsi Perricard again today. I need just a little bit of time, as the beautiful South say. I can't do it. Not yet. I'll just see how he turns up. If he turns up today and plays good against Vukic, that probably won't mean anything to me, because I feel like it's going to be a lot easier to play good against Vukic than whoever you're going to run into further down the line over in London. He should win. Simple as that. He should win. Look, I'll stay off him now, and he'll cash around 1.5, 1.6. It's what I like to call a big foe effect. They scare the shit out of you, so you stay off them, you miss all the wins, and just when you think it's time to go again, they remind you, not today, not with me, that's not how it works. I'd lean with Popyrin, to say the least, and we'll leave it there, and we'll move on to Mpethsi, Jong and Mpethsi Perricard. Bit of a tough one. Both of these played last week. There's loads of these that we've seen the past week or two. How are they going to come into this one? They should be rather pumped, ready to go. I did not like what I seen with Gio against Roman Safulim. I said it the day after. I said it even after the Felix match, and I'm saying it again prior to this one. Mpethsi was fairly decent over in Stuttgart. 2 wins, 1 loss. He got past Jacob Fernley. It was a decent comeback. Learning to end, and then he put in a solid game against Zverev. He really did. Couldn't fault it, really. I didn't expect him to win, but he didn't do bad whatsoever. Gio looked fucking really bad against Safulim. I think I remember saying, like, how you can play that bad and manage to win a game is so lucky. You don't realise how lucky you are. Is he just going to turn up and just save Mpethsi off the court? You just don't know with this guy, do you? There's more than enough 3 points within that save. I'd say the service game of Gio, really, to drag this one out. I know you can't break him. You can barely break him. You can deal with the serve. You can wrap yourself around the serve. You're probably just going to beat him straight up. It's as simple as that. He possesses very few weapons beyond that serve, and it's not impersonal. We all know that. He's extremely one-dimensional. I think Mpethi's got just a little bit more to his game. 1.6 on the decimal, that makes sense to me. 1.65, yeah, that makes a lot of sense for Mpethi to be there. I think he gets it done. He should get it done based on versatility alone, but if you can't see that serve, if you can't get a grip of that, you're going to be in for a fucking long one. Mark my words. Maybe look at an over. I do think Mpethi, I'm not going to say should be getting it done, but I would fancy him to get it done, be able to suss out the very one-dimensional game of Gio and Mpethsi Perricard, as it were. And then we'll move on to, this will be a good one. We've got Alex de Minaur and Lehecka. I feel like I haven't seen Alex de Minaur for a while, but I have. I haven't seen him get a proper solid win in ages. Last time out, beaten by Bublik in the French Open. How did he lose that? I couldn't tell you. 6-2, 6-2. He won the first 2 sets and then he ended up getting done 6-4, 6-3, 6-2. Talk about shit in the bed. This guy shat the bed while he was asleep in the bed and proceeded to just roll around in it all night. Woke up caked in his own crap. You think he should be beating Lehecka? I don't know. I'm at a point now with Lehecka. You know me, I rate this guy. I really do. You say what you want about the loss. Someone's giving him shit because of the loss against Yannick Sinner in the French Open. But what are you going to do? You know? I don't really know who, apart from like Sinner and Alcaraz and maybe Jack Draper, I don't really know who should be beating Lehecka, you know? He's so good. He can hang with the best of them. He can hang and pretty much beat any one of them on his day. That's a fact. He could certainly beat Alex de Minaur. Played each other once before, back in the Davis Cup 2 years ago. Probably not that much to go off, right? Alex de Minaur is decent on the grass, we know that. 7-1 last year, 6-3 before that, 7-4, 8-3. You get the picture. Lehecka, you know, if we're going off numbers, it ain't as promising as the Australian. I'll give you that. 2-1 this year. Didn't get anything last year. 5-5 before that. 0-3. De Minaur, much more suited, much more experienced, much more seasoned, a little bit more pepper on him in this spot. Probably, I'm not going to say he should get it done. I'm not. I'm sick of saying that. I'm sick of saying people should win this and people should win that. I should get these videos out a little bit earlier, but I've been really fucking tired and I can't help myself, but we get them out. That's all that matters. My point is, we all should do things and we don't. I think Alex de Minaur probably should beat Lehecka, but like I said, I don't think Alex de Minaur is firmly in that category of names that definitely beat Lehecka at the current moment. Can't wait to watch it. 1.4, 1.5, it's a little bit steep. It's not really that steep, actually. I don't know. I suppose it wouldn't be too bad. I'd maybe have a little look at Munar, see how he turns up. It is his first game on the grass, so there's that element to it. You know, Lehecka's already went 2-1 on the grass so far this year. I don't know, man. 3 games under your belt as opposed to none, but a bit more experienced. You pay your money and you do take your choice. I don't really think there's a clear-cut winner in that, but I probably would lean with the Australian if I had to pick it. So we'll move on to Rinderknech, Ben Shelton. Should be Ben Shelton, right? They should be Ben Shelton. How good did he look last time out over in Stuttgart? Very, very good indeed. I'd say until he ran into Zverev, he put up a good fight against Zverev too, as close as a fight as you're probably going to keep it. Just ultimately not enough on the day. Now, I think it should be safe to assume Ben Shelton's got more than enough to get past Rinderknech. I just do. He's won 4 of his last 10. They're dating back to, well, just the end of April. He's beat Mark Lial, Kekmanovic, that one against El Shapo in Stuttgart. And then he didn't even qualify for Queens. He got beat by Mpethsi in qualifying. He got it done against Johannes Monday. Who the hell's that? Who the hell's Johannes Monday? Oh my god. Sounds like a SoundCloud rapper. But yeah, that's my point. I don't know, it's no offence. I don't know who that kid is. Johannes Monday. That's completely thrown me, that name. I don't know why I found that so funny. We're getting off track. I think Ben Shelton's just got more than enough. He's got everything plus more that you would need to get past Rinderknech. Not only that, he's just really good, isn't he? Ben Shelton's really good, man. Top 10 now. I feel like you've just entered the top 10 after your last tournament. You're going to want to prove something to yourself here. You're not going to want to turn up to Queens and just get fucking drilled by Rinderknech. You don't want to do that when you've just entered the top 10. Try your best not to do that, Ben. I'm going to trust in you to get this one done around 1.3 to 1.4, depending where you look. Call it 1.35. Shouldn't be getting beat. I don't want to fatigue as an excuse. He only played 3 games last week. More on the line in this one. I feel like he should be good to go over in Queens. I hope he is. 1.3. A little bit steep, but maybe that's the price you're going to have to pay against Ben Shelton when he's playing someone like Rinderknech. So we will move on up the card to a quick one, dead easy. Jensen Brooksby, Jack Draper. What are the odds on this, you may say? Jack Draper 1.06. That's right. I feel like that tells a little bit of a tale on how this one may or may not go. Played each other 3 times over the years. Most recently Indian Wells this year, 7-5, 6-4 to Jack Draper. And then twice in 2022. One on the indoor hard court and one on the grass in Eastbourne. That's the other tournament in London. We'll be heading on over there next week. My main point being, Jack Draper, 2022, on the grass, 6-2, 6-2. If he's doing that to you 3 years ago on the grass, what do you think he is going to do to you now? I don't know. Closest game over at Indian Wells. Jensen Brooksby was playing a little bit good. Say a little bit good. He was playing fairly decent, a lot better than what I thought he would at the start of the season. Pardon me a sec. My apologies for the skip, folks. Someone was at the door. Yeah, Jack Draper every single day of the week. Don't want to hear anything about it. I refuse to believe he's going to get beat in his first match on the grass against Jensen Brooksby, of all people. Oh my god, excuse me. Right, no more stops. But yeah, Jack Draper every day of the week. Simple as that. Don't even need to talk about it. And then we've got Opelka, Ugo Carabelli. Just going to speed run through a couple of these. These are massive favourites. You don't even need me to talk about these ones. It's got to be Opelka, but I'm not telling you to bet him. I'm really not. He didn't even qualify for Den Bosch last week. Flew through the main fucking draw up until the semi-finals. He even beat Medvedev, beat Nicolas Jarry, beat Jesper de Jong. Just saved everyone off the court. Bumped into Zizou Bergs. No sign of him slowing down before that. And he turned up. And he looked like absolute crap. He did 6-1, 6-4. But like I said, maybe the loss to Zizou Bergs and Diallo weren't that bad. Well, not for him with Diallo. I was on about for others. But maybe those losses weren't as bad as what we thought in hindsight. How's he going to hold up in this one? I always say if you're going to take Opelka, it's going to be early doors. But say you would have took him early doors last time and he wouldn't have even qualified. But I did manage coming round and taking him for a set in one or two of the games. He should be getting this one done. Look, he's 1.1.5. Are you mad? I'm not taking Riley Opelka at that price. I'm really not. There's always a couple of question marks surrounding the fitness of Opelka. Bit of saving grace for him. His opponent does not play grass whatsoever. Exclusively a clay player. Doesn't even play hard court. 0-2 since 2015 on the grass. 0-1 last year. 0-1 in 2022. There you have it. Riley Opelka. Simple. Providing he's fit and he's not gassed out of his arse, he'll turn up and he'll win that one. And then we have got Jordan Thompson, Jamie Munar. Head to head is one apiece for these two. Most recent one coming to Jordan Thompson on the clay in Barcelona last year. Both meetings have been on the clay, never met on the grass. Jordan Thompson plays good on the clay. We all know that. We have discussed that a couple of times before. Jamie Munar does not play good on the clay. On the grass, sorry. Fuck that one up. Yeah, Jordan Thompson plays really good on the grass. Jamie Munar does not play good on the grass, but he does play good on the clay. That was what was in my mind. Jordan Thompson doesn't. It's got to be Jordan Thompson, 1.3, 1.4. I'd be surprised if he struggles with Jamie Munar today, although Munar has pulled off a couple of decent matches, couple of upsets already, mainly in clay season. He had a fairly decent hardcourt season too. If he's made any improvements on the grass, just like he has to his all-round game, he may be able to keep it a little bit closer than what people are expecting. Jordan Thompson nearly beat Gabe Diallo last week in Den Bosch, ended up losing that one, and then Diallo goes on to win the tournament. He should have enough to get past Jamie Munar. We'll assess the situation later on in the week, see who remains. This should be really quick, just to wrap us up now, folks. Got Carlos Alcaraz, Davidovich Fokina. I've got Alcaraz on the outright. That's it. If anyone's still watching, someone asked about the each way on Jack Draper. That just means if he wins, you get the full lot. If he gets to the final and gets beat, you just get half the odds. So like I said yesterday, Jack Draper on the each way, even if he doesn't win the title and he does get to the final, I still will end up with a plus money winner, as opposed to a 1.7, a 1.8 for the favourites. You get me? Carlos Alcaraz all day. I don't want to hear anything other than Carlos Alcaraz. However, where he wants to go about it's entirely up to him. I don't really mind because I won't be taking it. Probably gets it done in straight sets. He probably covers the spread. Davidovich Fokina. I was going to say then. Davidovich Fokina. I say he stands no chance. They've had close games. Both times they played have been very, very close. Both times out on the clay. 2 tiebreakers in the first set and 6-4 in the second. Both of them. Maybe this will be a little bit closer than what people are expecting. When you're dealing with Carlos Alcaraz, that means you're getting big dogs, big spreads for said big dog. If you want to take that, be my Christopher guest. I don't know if I'm brave enough. Like I say, when you get these big spreads, you usually just take the dog and don't even think about it. But there's 1 or 2 exceptions on this tour, and that's Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. They can most definitely cover pretty much any number you throw at them. We've got Taylor Fritz, Corentin Moutet. Quick round of applause for Taylor Fritz, everyone. Fantastic last time out over in Stuttgart. A proper title that was decent. Quinton Halles, Fuskovic, Felix and Zverev. 4 of the best, if you'd say that. Well, 2 alright ones, then 2 of the best. Didn't drop his set, barely dropped his fucking serve. Did he drop his serve? I don't think he did. Did he get broke once last week? I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember seeing it happen anyway. If he did, he was so good. Too solid for anyone. Mpethsi has come through qualifying, dropping a set in both. Drop one to Matteo Bellucci, drop one to Rinderknech. Providing Taylor Fritz isn't tired and he's still got gas left in the tank, he will turn up and he will definitely beat Corentin Mpethsi. I don't want to hear anything other than that. It can only be fatigue. It can only be fatigue. And do we think Taylor Fritz is going to be fatigued after 4 games? I wouldn't have thought so. I wouldn't like to think so anyway. I'd be going with Taylor Fritz, 1.14. Nothing more to say about that. If you want to take Mpethsi on the spread, go for that if you want, but I don't think it's very wise to do that whatsoever. And then we'll wrap this shit up with Gabe Diallo, Billy Harris. Once again, Gabe Diallo coming off not only a deep run last week, but winning the actual title. Fair play to him. Like I said, if you were telling me at the start of last week that Gabe Diallo was going to win that title, I'd have thought you were retarded. But clearly not. Well done. If anyone jumped on the outright there. If anyone actually jumped on the outright as well. Vukic, Jordan Thompson, catching off Ugo Humbert, Zizou Bergs, dropping just the one set along the way. That was to Jordan Thompson. And he just breezed past everyone else. I would be expecting him to do the same against Billy Harris. I know we're in England and the Brits have been turning up. Even Cam Norrie looked decent today against Mpethsi before it unravelled. Decent stuff from Jacob Fairley. Solid stuff from Dan Evans. I mean, big foe, ladies and gentlemen. Francis Tiafoe. Everyone can't believe it. Can't believe he turned up and looked like absolute crap today. If you'd have told me big foe had been up since 8 a.m. drinking beer on the stoop, I wouldn't have touched them. But Dan Evans did look good too. My point being, the Brits have turned up. They do look a little bit inspired to play over in Queens, as they usually are. So maybe be a little bit careful fading Billy Harris. On class alone, and just from what we know, Gabe Diallo should be getting this one done. But let's just see how he holds up after that title. He might turn up and be absolutely fucking goosed, and you'll wish you never went near him, and you'll be using the excuse, oh yeah, the previous tournaments and the short turnaround and blah blah blah, the he said she said bullshit. I'd be setting off it, and I'd be definitely going with Gabe Diallo if I was to have a go on that. That's going to do us. That's going to do us quite a few once again tonight. I apologise for the late upload. Get yourselves involved, yeah. Best bets, all that stuff. Anything I'm going for will be in the pinned comments. Try and get one back today, yeah. Try I will. But very well, I'll be saying good night to you. You take care of yourselves, you take care of one another. It's the most important thing. You take it easy, yeah. Like and subscribe. Let's go get that cash today. I wish you all the best of luck. As always, stay beautiful. Keep it light. Keep it simple. We are still in the first round. Don't do anything stupid. But until tomorrow, folks, see you later, yeah? Have a good one.